welcome to the Martial Way Kung Fu Training Center virtual online class series, where today we'll be focusing on everything you need to know about Tan Tei number 4. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so the first things that you guys need to know about Tan Tei number 4 are which strikes are going to be used in Tan Tei number 4. The strikes you're going to need to know is what we refer to as your ram's head punch, your inside forearm strike, and also what we refer to as a ridge hand. Your ridge hand, think about making a forefinger, make the number 4, tuck your thumb in as much as possible, and now bend your wrist that way. And that's referred to as your ridge hand. Same thing with this hand. So take both hands, now flip them that way. So then you have your ridge hand. The contact point is going to be right here under that finger, so that you basically have almost a little bit less, about 3/4 of an inch of a striking point that you're trying to use on your hand. And that is going to be referred to as your ridge hand. That's the ridge hand. Now ridge hands can come this way, similar to the inside forearm strike, or ridge hands can come up this way, which is the way we're going to be using it in Tan Tei number 4, which is going to be coming up in between, inside the groin. Some of the other concepts you're going to need to know is how to strip. So stripping, what is stripping? Stripping, when I launch a punch and somebody blocks that punch, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the other hand and I'm going to swipe down my arm and I'm going to grab that contact. So if I launch a punch and you blocked it, now I have control over you. Set, strip, bring the other fist to chamber. Set, other hand, strip. Now when I strip, notice I have the hold right there. And maybe say I have a pointer finger right there because I kind of have that hold. Okay? Let's do that again. Other hand behind, and it starts roughly right around the tricep. Strip, hold, other fist comes back to chamber. Reset that. Other hand, strip. Other hand comes back to chamber. Reset that. Ready. 1, reset. 2, reset. 3, reset. 4, reset. 5, reset. 6, reset. Ready. 1, reset. 2, reset. 3, reset. 4, reset. 5, reset. Good job. Another concept that you're going to need to know how to use is how to cover. Now, what is covering? Covering is when somebody has their guard out. If they have their guard right over there and they're guarding their head or guarding their body, you want to move now. If I have my guard right here, you can't get to anything right on my body because my guard is just defending it. What you want to do is you're going to take your hand and simply push it down. Taking your hand and simply pushing that down. So whatever's there, you're going to push that hand down. So if somebody has their guard right there, you push their arm down, now they're open to get hit. And covering, covering, covering. And it's almost like an outside to inside block, but then it goes downwards. It's almost like an outside to inside block, but it goes downwards. And all you're trying to do is just whatever's right here in the center, just get it and push it down so that you can punch over there. So, set, cover, punch, reset. Cover, punch, reset. Cover, punch, reset. Cover, punch, reset. Now to my count. Hana. Hup. Do. Hup. Set. Hup. Net. Hup. Dasit. Hup. Yasit. Hup. Yoga. Hup. Yoro. Hup. Aho. Hup. Yo. Hup. And that's what we refer to as covering. The last concept that we want to use is what we refer to as a sweeping clear out. Now, when you learn springing legs, you may have learned that clear outs are coming this way. And a clear out is removing anything that's there. It's very similar to a cover. So clear outs, covers, and sweeping clear outs are very, very similar in that they're moving objects out of the way so that you can open your opponent up and then strike them. The sweeping clear is going to be used from this position. And I'll face you this way. And it loops, and you air. Loops, loops, and notice how I'm kind of trapping it at the end. So think about sweeping all of that out. It's like a net. So think about taking a net, putting it into the ocean, and then you have all the fish. And so it's like a trap. Now do this other side. Sweep it out. Sweep it out. Now, I'm not doing anything with my other hand as of yet. Sweep it out. Just want to work on the dominant hand. So once again, I'll do it this way now. Good job. The kicks that you're going to need for Tan Tei number 4 are your front snap kick. Now remember, your front snap kick is the kick that comes up to a nice high chamber with your knee above your sash line, and then it goes out and back with your foot sleeping, then down, then down, then down. So we're going to do 5 on this side, 5 on this side. Ready? Hana. Remember, I'm kicking with my front leg right now. Do. Sit. Knit. Thus it. Let's turn to the other side. Same thing on this side. Hana. Do. Sit. Knit. Thus it. Good work. And that's referred to as the front snap kick. Stances that you're going to need to know are simply your bow stance and your tiger stance. And what the differences between those two stances, because they do look somewhat similar, and I want to make sure that as you break down, I break down the difference between the two. Your bow stance, front knee bent, back leg straight. Bow stance other side. Front knee bent, back leg straight. All energy moving in that direction. That's where my opponent is. That's where my opponent is. That's where my opponent is. Tiger stance. Open your stance. This knee straight. That leg bent. So you know you're not doing this. And you want to keep your hips in this direction. Tiger stance. Now my opponent's on this side, over the straight leg. This knee straight. Tiger stance. This knee straight. Tiger stance. This knee straight. Tiger stance. And that's going to be referred to as your tiger stance. And those are all of the strikes, concept, kicks, and stances that you're going to need for Tan Tei number 4. So now let's get ready to start out with actually doing all of the individual steps of Tan Tei number 4. All right, so let's go through Tan Tei number 4. Tan Tei number 4 has 9 steps, and we're going to go through those 9 steps, and I'm going to work with you. I'm going to break that into 2 different sections. First section is going to be like 5 steps, and then the second section is going to be 4 steps. Okay, so let's go through the first 5 steps. So what you're going to do is you're going to need bow stance with the long punch. Remember, the long punch is the same hand and foot. So think about the cover. Remember that cover? And then we did the punch? That's what you want to start it out with, the cover and the punch. So same hand and foot. Step number 1, strip. Bring the other fist to its chamber. Step number 2, pivot. So I'm pivoting the back foot. Step number 3, you're going to pull it back now. You want that striking hand to be above the holding hand. Now remember what a strip is. You launch your punch, somebody blocked. Now what I want to do is I'm going to slide down my arm, and I have control over them now. So I have control as if somebody's pulling me. So I have control. So when I do this, I still have control. The inside form strike is going towards the back of your opponent's neck. So you really want to try to get a good strike. And that's why you're trying to pull him back. All right, so when I say pull him back, you see how I just kind of slid my foot just a little bit. Okay, let's do that again. Bow stance, long punch. 1, strip. 2, pivot, get ready to pull back. 3, pull him back. This hand has got to be a striking hand. It's got to be above that holding hand. 4, tiger stance. Clear it out. Now notice when I clear it out, this hand opens up because you no longer have a hold. So this hand is going to sweep through that and move that arm. And what's happening to your opponent is, right now you launch a punch towards them. They blocked it. Now you're stripping. Now you have control over them. You launched an inside form strike towards the back of their neck. And now what's going to happen, this arm is going to get swept out to open up their groin, which is going to be for step number 5. So set. Let's do that again. Bow stance. Set. 1, strip. 2, pivot. 3, inside forearm strike. 4, tiger stance. Scoop it out. Open hand here. Bow stance now. 5. Remember, that's the ridge hand, and the ridge hand is going to go straight to the groin. Remember how we did the ridge hand in the last class? We did the number 4, and then we bent it back. And then the ridge hand is going to come right up in the groin, isolating that small part of that hand. Let's do that side. So I'm going to show and face you going in this direction and also facing that direction so you can see the profile and see the difference between that. Both stance, long punch. 1, strip. 2, pivot. So you notice how I kind of move my foot. 3, pull them now. Notice how this hand is higher than this hand. 4, open the hand, tiger stance. Remember, this knee is straight. Don't do this. This knee has got to be straight. 5, bow stance, ridge hand to the groin. The other hand is going to be what we call reaction. That's going to be your reaction hand. So as this hand, so it's like a seesaw. When this hand goes here, the other hand goes there. That's what we refer to as the reaction hand. You have the action hand, which is doing the strike, and the reaction hand, which is going to be the opposite of that. So it's like a yin and a yang, or a si and a saw. Okay? So let's go back. Let's do this side once again. Bow stance, long punch. 1, strip. 2, pivot. 3, inside form strike. Remember, that strike goes to the back of the neck. 4, scoop it out. This hand's going to open up. 5, ridge hand to the groin. Get a good front knee bent, back leg straight. Those are your first 5 steps. Let's go to this side right over here. Do the same thing. Bow stance, long punch. 1, strip. 2, pivot. 3, inside form strike. This hand now has to be higher than this hand. 4, scoop it out, open that hand. 5, ridge hand. Get that other reaction hand. So the other hand doesn't go to its chamber, it's a reaction hand. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it 2 times facing you, 2 times facing you on the other leg, 2 times facing in that direction, and 2 times facing in that direction. Now remember, Tan Tei number 4 has 9 steps, but we're just working on the first 5 steps, or the first part. So let's get into our bow stance, long punch. Long punch is the same hand and foot. 1, strip. 2, pivot. 3, pull back, inside form strike towards the back of the neck. 4, sweeping clear out, tiger stance, open the hand. 5, bow stance, ridge hand to the groin, other hand, reaction. Let's do that again. Set. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good job. Now let's go to the other leg. And you may feel as if one side is a little bit easier to do than the other side, and that's normal. So if they both feel even, then that's awesome. And that's what you want to get to. You want to get to the point where it feels comfortable on both sides. So if one side doesn't feel comfortable, practice that side more. Both stance, long punch, same hand and foot, other hand's on that cover. 1, 2, 3. Make sure that hand's higher. 4, 5. Let's do that again. Bow stance, long punch. 1, strip. 2, pivot. 3, inside form strike, pull it back. 4, 5, ridge hand to the groin. Good. Now I'm going to face in this direction, and I'm going to face in this direction, and I'll do it 2 times as well. 5 steps. Bow stance. Long punch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good job, guys. Let's do that again. 5 steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's go to the other direction. Do the same thing. Bow stance. Long punch. 1, strip. 2, pull back. 3, pull it back. 4, watch that knee. 5. Let's come back. Let's do that one more time. First 5 steps. Ready. 1, strip. 2, pivot. 3, inside form strike. 4, clear it out. 5, ridge hand. And that's part number 1 of Tan Tei number 4, the first 5 steps. Now what I want to see you guys do is I want to see you guys do it without my count. So stand bow stance, long punch, set. And I'll give you the description. 1, strip. 2, pivot. 3, inside form strike, pull back. 4, sweeping clear out, open the other hand. 5, ridge hand to the groin, other hand on reaction. Change to the other leg. And let's do that again. Ready. Bow stance, long punch. 1, strip. 2, pivot. 3, pull back, inside form strike. 4, clear it out. And 5, ridge hand to the groin. Good work, guys. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do the next steps, which is steps number 6, 7, 8, and 9. 6, 7, 8, and 9, the last 4 steps. Now, before we do that, we want to make sure that we understand how to balance ourselves properly in our front snap kick without leaning forward and to be able to maintain that chamber. Very important to maintain the chamber. Now, when I say the chamber, not this chamber, but the chamber for your leg. So that's referred to as the chamber for your leg. It's not necessarily a crane stance. It's the chamber for your kick, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to come. You're going to go back and forth, and this is what all I want to see you guys do. I'm going to do a few repetitions, and I'll show you. So watch me first, and then you guys can do it with me. Kick, then step down. Kick, step down. Kick, step down. Notice how I'm pausing. Kick, step down. I pause as I bring my foot back. Kick, step down. What you don't want to do is doing this. Doesn't seem as if you have control over your leg. So you want to pause once that leg whips back. Okay? So now let's do it again. I'll do it with you one more time. Ready? Let's begin. Fight! 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 Remember, you can do this as many times as you need to. So the whole purpose of this instructional video is not just to go through the video and say you have it. The whole purpose of this video is to go through all of the individual small little details that make up the Tan Tei, and that's how the Tan Tei improves. So even if you know this Tan Tei and you're an intermediate student and you're looking at this video, you may be able to pull something out of this video that you didn't know or didn't understand. And remember, what makes your Tan Tei better? Being stronger, being more focused, having cleaner stance, and more control over your body. And that's what makes the Tan Tei better, not just knowing the steps. Okay? So now what we're going to do, guys, is I want you guys to just kind of do this motion. It's almost like an outside to inside block, but you notice how my arm is out here just like this. So the outside to inside block will be all the way up here. So think about an outside to inside block, and I want your elbow to be right on your center line. Elbow on your center line. Elbow on the 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 center line. Now I want the other hand on reaction. And there's no function of this hand, just want the other hand to be on that other side. Reaction. Reaction. I'm just using an open hand. Reaction. Reaction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So you can see the actual hand itself. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So remember, you have a reaction hand, and this arm right over here is going to be step number 6. It's going to be step number 6. Now, once this elbow is right over here, you want to make certain that now what I'm going to do a front snap kick. Notice how the front snap kick is on the other side of the elbow. So I don't want the kick to be on the outside, on the inside of the elbow. I want the kick to be on the outside of the elbow. So you may have to turn your shoulders. So notice how when I was doing this, when I was doing this drill, I was turning my shoulders. So turn your shoulders, launch the kick. Turn your shoulders, launch the kick. 1, hip. 2, hip. Don't forget about the reaction hand. 3, hip. 4, hip. Now I'm going to launch a little bit more control over the kick, locking it as if we were over there when we were doing the drill before. So set. 1, hip. 2, hip. Hip. 3, hip. 4, hup, hip. Most important thing you want to focus on is this. Everything about your Kung Fu is exercising a very high level of control over your body. Now, this is what makes your Kung Fu look loose. When one body part affects the other body parts that aren't supposed to be moving. When I lock this motion right here, those arms and his arms right here are in a fixed position. Now, when I kick, if those arms have to move when I kick, that means you do not have control over your body. That means you need to practice and exercise more coordination and more balance and more control. And that's what makes your Kung Fu look cleaner. So for my intermediate students or my advanced students, whenever you see this motion, you want to keep everything from your top, from the crown of your head to your sash line perfectly still. It doesn't move into the kick. If it has to move and you do that, that means you don't have control. That's what makes your Kung Fu look sloppy, okay? So let's do this motion once again. Remember, and we're going to keep that leg out there, so ready. 1, hup. Notice how the hands still haven't moved. 2, hup. 3, hup. 4, hup. 5, hup. 6, hup. 7, hup. Control that leg. 8, hup. 9, hup. 10, hup. Make sure that you exercise a high level of control. Make sure that other parts of your body aren't moving. And the way to control that is by having strong core. So whenever you're locking your body, lock all parts of your body as if you're trying to flex. And that's what's going to try to really lock your body so that you can gain maximum control over yourself. Let's continue now as we go into the, you guys already remember the cover and the punch. The cover and the punch. The cover and the punch. And the cover, the punch. So we did both sides. So if we were practicing that in the very beginning, now what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to put that in our Tan Tei, and now we basically have completed the Tan Tei. So let's do all of the steps now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back, and here's how you guys are going to learn it now. Both stands. Let's do the first 5 steps. 1, strip. 2, pivot. 3, inside forearm strike. Slide it back. Tiger stance. 4, open that hand. 5, ridge hand. Now, this hand right over here, 6. Remember that. Notice how my arms are not going to move. 7. Step forward. Cover. 8. 9. That's the ram's head punch. And those are the 9 steps. So it's funny how you already knew how to do the last few steps without even knowing how to do it. And that's how you basically take all the individual ingredients of a technique and put it together. And that's how it becomes beautiful. So let's do this. I'm going to face towards you so that you guys can see. And those are going to be those 9 steps. Both stance, long punch. 1, strip. 2, pivot. 3, inside forearm strike, pull it back. 4, tiger stance, sweeping clear out. 5, ridge hand to the groin. 6, elbow on the center line. 7, 8, 9, punch over. 1, 2, 3, make sure this hand is higher. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Those are your first 9 steps. I'll do it facing in this direction so that you guys can see the profile. And then that will conclude Tan Tei number 4. Tan Tei number 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Practice your Tan Tei number 4. All of the individual components, all of the strikes, the kick, the control, the action-reaction, the stripping, the covering, and your stances.